This crafty scheme was not in Labour's manifesto. Even the Cabinet thinks this whole thing is a fantasy. The Secretary of State cannot even bring herself to tweet about it. Why does the Prime Minister keep handing her his steaming messes to scoop up? The migration argument having totally bombed, the migration argument is totally bombed, and you heard it here today. She and the Prime Minister are now reframing this whole thing as the route to better online services. No more rifling around utility bills. Her whole statement.
What just happened in Parliament has left Westminster in shock and the internet in meltdown. Julia Lopez, a Conservative MP known for her calm composure, just obliterated Labour's new digital ID proposal in a fiery debate that's already being called one of the most brutal political takedowns of the year. She called it a fantasy, accused the Prime Minister of dodging accountability.
Today, not an ID you hear today, not an ID, a key. But they are deliberately conflating two very different things. Better, more convenient online services were already coming in. We already had right to work and rent checks, convenient DBS checks, driving licence renewals, all designed with choice, consent and privacy in mind. Paper options retained, nobody forced down the digital route, and trust as the key. Private identity providers enabled. This is not about Luddites versus modernisers. This is about the fact that Labour cannot resist its big, fat socialist dreams. Centralised databases, state mandations, big...
And even delivered a line so sharp it had MPs gasping. If you missed it, buckle up, because this one was a masterclass in political demolition. It all exploded during a heated debate over Labour's controversial Digital ID plan, a policy that aims to give every UK citizen a single digital identity linking healthcare, tax records, and benefits into one system. Supporters call it modern governance for a digital age. But to Lopez, it was something far darker. She said, and I quote, "This crafty scheme wasn't even in Labour's manifesto. Even the Cabinet thinks it's a fantasy." The moment those words hit the chamber, you could feel the temperature change. Gasps, murmurs. Even some on Labour's benches looked stunned. But Lopez wasn't finished. In what's now being replayed across social media, she turned her fire directly on the Prime Minister, saying, "Why does the Prime Minister keep handing his steaming messes to his Secretary of State to scoop up?" The line landed like a thunderclap. Some MPs tried to stifle laughs. Others were dead silent. It wasn't just political theater, it was a precision strike. And for a few tense seconds, you could see the PM's expression shift from irritation to full-on discomfort. So, what exactly is this digital ID plan that's causing all this chaos? According to Labour officials, it's designed to make life easier. One ID for everything from NHS appointments to tax filings, all managed securely through government systems. But Lopez and other critics see a huge red flag. They warn it could give the state unprecedented power over citizens' private data. "This isn't modernization," Lopez said. "It's micromanagement of the British people." Her words hit home for millions who already distrust government surveillance after years of data leaks and privacy scandals. And here's where it gets even messier. Lopez claimed that several senior Labour figures privately dismissed the proposal as a techno-fantasy dreamt up by advisors who've never read a data protection report. If true, that's devastating, because it suggests even the people inside the party don't fully believe in the policy. Labour's spokespersons were quick to push back, calling her comments outdated paranoia, and insisting that digital identity will reduce fraud and bureaucracy. But the damage was done. The clip went viral, trending under hashtags like #DigitalIDDebate and #JuliaLopez within hours. And it's not just online buzz, it's political fallout. Government officials praised Lopez for saying what everyone's thinking, while Labour supporters dismissed her remarks as nothing more than grandstanding. But here's the twist. Even some Labour MPs reportedly admitted off the record that she struck a nerve. Political analysts are calling it one of the sharpest parliamentary takedowns this year, not because it exposed corruption, but because it exposed weakness, the kind that lingers long after the cameras stop rolling. For Keir Starmer's Labour, this is more than just a bad news cycle. It's a credibility crisis. How do you sell a major policy when your opponents, your own backbenchers, and is everything, think it's unworkable? Lopez's attack forced Labour to defend a plan many voters hadn't even heard of before this week. And with the next election looming, perception, and maybe even your... Once a policy gets branded as a fantasy, that label sticks, especially when it comes from a viral, made-for-TV moment like this. So, where does this leave the future of the digital ID? Will it survive the scrutiny, or has Julia Lopez just lit the fuse that could blow it apart before it even begins? One thing's certain, this debate has reopened Britain's biggest question: how much control should the government really have over its citizens' data? Lopez's words may echo for weeks, maybe months. But the fight over digital identity has only just begun. Now it's over to you. Do you agree with Julia Lopez that Labour's plan is a dangerous fantasy, or do you think it's a step toward a smarter, safer future? Drop your thoughts below, hit like, share, and subscribe, because in British politics, the next showdown is always just around the corner.